This is a full breakdown and introduction to all of the heroes in Deadlock. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So what we're going to do here is take a look at the heroes, because whether it's a MOBA, whether it's a hero shooter, whatever type of new game that you are playing, these games essentially live or die by their hero designs and by the way that the heroes function in the game. What are their abilities like? We're going to take a look at them in this video. It's going to be quite a detailed video. We're going to go through each individual hero. There are links in the video description which will go to each section for each hero if you do want to jump around and check them out. But yeah, let's get stuck into this. So this is Abrams the Detective. Now, Abrams is basically very close range, high sustain. He's got good mobility as well. So his primary fire is a shotgun. Now, you can see through using this at point blank range on these enemy heroes, yeah, it does a ton of damage at close range. But when you start getting to any kind of medium or long range, yeah, you can forget it. You're not going to do a lot of damage. He's all about being up close and personal. So the first ability I want to show you is this. It's Siphon Life. Now, for the purposes of this video, I've upgraded the abilities to their maximum. So what we've got is a fully upgraded Siphon Life. So this drains health from enemies in front of you while they are in the radius. And you can see that it has got plus 40 damage per second when it is upgraded to the maximum, which it is now. So I'm going to use this. It instantly deploys when you use it. And you can see in the area, as I move around, the blue radius shows where I'm stealing life from. Stealing it from all of these enemy heroes. This is how you've got your sustain when you dive into the enemy team. A very, very powerful ability. Now, the next ability is Shoulder Charge. This is one of his movement abilities. Again, plays into the whole thing that Abrams is a very mobile character. He charges forwards, he collides with enemies and drags them along. Hitting a wall will stun enemies caught by Abrams. Speed increases after colliding with enemy heroes. So, you can see again, this has been upgraded. Minus 20-second cooldown, plus 0.5 second duration. And then the final upgrade of it is plus 5.5 weapon damage for 8 seconds after colliding with an enemy. So again, you charge into someone, hit them, you get more weapon damage. So basically, yeah, I'll charge into these guys and show you how this works. We'll go through all three of these, and yeah, let's do it.
I'm unstoppable.
Now you see, and I've got like a slight weapon damage buff. You can see it to the left-hand side of the screen. Bonus damage. I've also knocked this guy wildly out of position. I should probably put him back. Let's knock him back. Let's see if we can knock him back. Okay, whatever. That'll do. These two guys, I think these will just respawn where I kill them anyway.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, the next ability is Infernal Resilience. So this is not actually an activatable ability. It's just passive. So you regenerate a portion of incoming damage over time. Yeah, this is just, you get hit, you get healed. So in a big fight, when you dive in, you're using your Siphon Life to give yourself that kind of burst heal if you buy enemy players, that is, by stealing their life. Also, if they attack you, well then, yeah, you start regenerate even more health. So, in a lot of ways, Abrams is almost a target you want to ignore in a fight. However, there are items that can screw him over by stopping his healing. So, yeah, very powerful ability. Now, the ultimate ability, this is Seismic Impact. So, this is his ultimate distance closer. It's like his dive ability, I guess, if you're an Overwatch player. Think of like Winston. It's kind of like that. You just dive into the enemy team. So you leap high into the air and choose a ground location to crash into. When you hit the ground, all enemies in the radius are damaged and stunned. Now, the maximum upgrade for this is really good. So on cast, you become immune to stun, sleep, silence, root, and disarm, and it expires 3 seconds after landing. So you cannot be crowd control. Now, let me show you how this works. When I activate this, you'll see me fly up into the air, get to pick a target, and slam down. These guys are all stunned. I'm in the fight. I would then be using my life steal. I'm doing damage to them. You know, maybe then I slam them into the wall, stuns them a bit more. Yeah, this hero is a very, very good. Now, in terms of his design as well, I like him. I think he looks like Beast from X-Men. He's really cool, but he's the detective in the game. So, good stuff. So this is a Bebop. I think this is my favorite hero in the game at the moment. Now, let's talk about the primary fire because it's really cool. So if you fire this from the hip without using ADS, notice there's a wind-up time. Did you see that before I actually fired? A wind-up time. However, if you use ADS, you instantly fire. This is really strong because you can use this to deny souls in lane, which is really, really good. Now, this weapon, as opposed to somebody like Abrams, has range on it, and it is really, really strong. Obviously, that's the max range on it there. So it's not something you're going to be firing across the map. You can get items that will change the range of the weapon and stuff, but it's basically a highly accurate laser that you can fire really fast. And if you, again, you've got items that maybe augment headshot damage, and you're landing headshots with this, you're going to do a lot of damage. Of course, in a live game, it's a lot harder to hit these targets. you know, they'd be moving around. But it is a very, very strong weapon. And you can basically build Bebop around the gun and just have a really powerful gun build. So let's take a look at his abilities, because his abilities chain together in a really, really nice way. So the first one is Exploding Uppercut. And again, this is fully upgraded. So we'll talk about the final state of the upgrade. But on uppercut, on uppercutting an enemy hero, I should say, it instantly resets the hook and it gives you all of your bullets back in your current clip. So if I go for my hook, so I'm going to hook this guy, bring him in, and then I uppercut him. See, my hook is now available again, and I can hook him back in again. Now, the thing with Bebop, there's a lot of tech with the hero, which honestly I'm not the greatest at. So, yeah, but if I was to hook this guy in, I'll do it again. So if I hook him in here, what you're looking to do is imagine my team is behind me. I'm going to want to hook him in, move behind him, and uppercut him back into my team. So actually, he's into the turret there. So he's going to get killed by the turret. This is the kind of... You think he's just going to respawn there, isn't he? Get killed over and over again by the turret. Don't do it, Kelvin. Okay, good lad. But yeah, insanely powerful. So this, as a... because it's AoE, you can like uppercut multiple players as well. So it's... Well, you uppercut one player and where they land, it causes an AoE effect. That's what I should say. There's so much stuff in this game, I get confused. But insane. But you can see the combo, right? You're hooking them in, you're uppercutting them. But there is another ability which plays a bit of a part in this combo. So you've got Sticky Bomb. So you attach a Sticky Bomb to nearby target that deals explosive damage after a short fuse. Now, you gain 2.5% bomb damage for every enemy hero hit. You can cast Sticky Bomb on yourself using M3. So if you don't have a target and you want to throw yourself into the fight, you can cast it on yourself. Can't say I do that too often. I generally do stick it on enemy players because as they run away, it's quite funny watching them blow up. But you can see, on attach, this thing will disarm the enemy when it's fully upgraded. That is insane. It means they can't use their primary fire. So again, looking at the way Bebop would work with a combo, you would pull somebody in like this, bomb them, you'd be behind them, and then you'd uppercut them back and shoot them. It's a hell of a lot of damage. It's really, really strong. So let's talk about his ultimate. Well, I guess we should talk about the hook, really. But the hook is basically... there's not much to say about the hook. It's just a hook. If you play Blitzcrank, you know what a hook's like. If you've played Roadhog in Overwatch, you know what a hook's like. Pudge is a hook, right? You just hook enemies towards you. It does have minus 12% cooldown, 12 seconds, cooldown when it's fully upgraded. But what I would say is the first tier of this is really strong because you deal 30% more bullet damage against hooked enemies for 10 seconds. Again, playing into the whole thing. If you hook them, you bomb them, you uppercut them, you shoot them, you do a lot of damage to them. This is an item or an ability that really does benefit from items that increase range as well. Because if you've got massive range, you can hook people from miles away. It is so strong, and they often won't expect it. So the ultimate is a massive laser, a big giant laser, which is kind of cool for sweeping up the enemy. Maybe if you're at the back of a fight, a big team fight's breaking out, and you want to laser everybody. The top upgrade for this, Hyper Beam heals Bebop for 100% of its damage on heroes, 33% on non-hero damage. Now, that 33% of non-hero damage can actually be quite good because you can almost fully heal yourself off the minion waves or the creep waves as they're coming through if you need that emergency heal. But probably at that point in the game, you should have other items that are going to keep you sustained anyway. But just to show you what this is like, it's just a massive beam. But there is a downside to this. You move really slow. There's a lot of damage, but you move really slow. Like, really slow. So you are quite vulnerable while you're using that. So yeah, that's Bebop. I think he's my favorite hero at the moment in the game. And let's move on. So this is Dynamo, which I think I called Paradox in my other video. I apologize. Paradox, totally different character. She's amazing, by the way. But anyway, Dynamo, it's a healer. It's also basically got Zarya's ultimate from Overwatch. So you can suck everybody. But the difference is you suck them all to you. You don't fire a thing which sucks them. You are the suck. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we'll begin with primary fire. Now, this does quite a bit of damage. It's got quite rapid fire rate. But I don't know. I don't find this as enjoyable to use as other weapons, probably just because I just like the giant laser beam of Bebop, but it's decent. And obviously, again, you can ADS with all the weapons in the game. So it is decent, right? This is your main damage output, at least early game. So let's take a look at the abilities, right? Kinetic Pulse. Now, this releases an energy pulse that knocks enemies up into the air. So again, this plays into the whole thing of crowd control, of healing. This is a disruptive style hero. So the upgrade to this, the final upgrade anyway, just gives you 120 damage. But the first and second upgrade are quite interesting for this. So you hit enemies fire rate and movement slowed by 40% by 4 seconds. That is massive. But again, remember, you need to be, hitting them with kinetic pulse. That's just not going to get this effect on them. And the second upgrade for this is Dynamo deals 30% more weapon damage to hit enemies for 8 seconds, which plays into the whole thing of this being your primary damage when you've got the modifiers on the enemy. So we're going to use this. There you go. You see I hit him. It's in an area around you. I could get both if I actually hit both of them. And you can see he's got the debuff effect on him. And yeah, it's fine. It's a stun and a bit of crowd control. It's pretty good early lane for catching people out of position. Quantum Entanglement. Right, now this is your movement ability. So it's like a teleport, but it's a very readable teleport. So you can see where Dynamo is going when he uses this. So you can see disappears into the void and then reappears a short distance away. On reappearing, your weapon is reloading as a fire rate bonus for the next clip. Can be cast with mouse 3 to also bring nearby allies to give them half fire rate bonus. So you can sort of carry your team with you as well. Now, yeah, you can see like on reappearing, you get plus 120% base ammo, which is pretty good. You get a big fire rate buff from the second level upgrade to this, and you get a cast range for the first upgrade. But essentially, yeah, it works like this. So if I want to go over here, I don't want to bring allies. Okay, we'll bring allies just for the sake of it, 'cause it's funny. We'll bring this guy with us, right? Let's go. See, it's very readable. It's not a massive long distance. Again, it can be augmented by abilities, and you can see both our weapons are glowing because we've got the buff for the extra damage, and then it's gone. The next ability is the heal. So this is Rejuvenating Aura, and this is just a straight up heal. So when channeling, restore health over time to you and any allies nearby. You also give them a speed boost for the first tier upgrade, and for the final tier, you get full move and ability use, and additionally heals 4% of max health per second. So when I use this for upgrade, look, I'm not being hindered with my movement. I can run around. You're healing your teammates. Now, this is the ultimate we need to talk about, right? Because this is like a game-winning ultimate, because you can teleport in and then pop the ultimate and just pull everybody together. And in fact, I'll do that for the demo. But essentially, you create a graviton surge, a black hole, a singularity, as they're calling it here, which is also... Is that a galaxy in Dynamo's head? I think it probably is. I was going to say it's a black hole, but it's not. It's like some sort of galaxy star cluster. Who knows what's going on? Anyway, what is reality? Are we in the Matrix? Who even knows? This just pulls enemies in and damages them. But look at the final upgrade for this. Singularity takes 3.8% of the max of the enemy's max health each second. It does massive damage if you grab a bunch of enemy players. It is insane. But only that, your team will layer their ultimates on top of this. Other heroes, as soon as they see Dynamo going in to drop his ultimate, they'll straight up come in and do it. So let's do it, right? We're going to pop our teleport. Obviously, we would have more range if this was late game as well, because we'd have items that would augment this. But we're going to use it. We're going to go straight in. Here we go. We pop in, and then we open ourselves up. We suck these two guys in. We're doing a ton of damage to them. I think, well, I was going to say I think we'll kill them, but we won't. So we only do 3.8 per second. Was it per second? Yeah. 3.8% health per second. But still, you can see it pulls them together. They can't move. They're stuck in this, and then they'll just get destroyed. There are items you can get which will help you with this. But yeah, it's a very expensive items, and people are probably not going to build for that. At least early days in Deadlock. So yeah, Dynamo is one of the stronger heroes, but he's more of a supportive hero rather than being your, I guess, sort of lone warrior style hero. So this is Grey Talon. Think Hanzo from Overwatch. He's the bow hero, but he can fly. He's quite similar to Vindicta, but you'll see that when we get to her in the video. But yeah, very similar to her in a lot of ways, which is kind of strange, really, that they've got two heroes that are so similar. But remember, this is early development, so yeah. Anyway, he's really strong, right? So charge shot, it charges up. In fact, we'll show his primary fire. What am I doing? So he's obviously got ADS. They've all got ADS. Very fast firing arrows. There's no delay from ADS to just primary fire. Like, you know, you can just... You generally spam with this guy. He's also got pretty good range as well. Like, if you compare this to Bebop, for example, Bebop's not even doing damage at this range. Yet with Grey Talon, if you're in lane against Bebop, you can sort of chunk him down if there's nothing else to shoot. Although, I highly recommend attacking, you know, the actual creeps. Not trying to chip enemy heroes down, because they're probably killing your creeps. Let's kill these guys so they respawn. Alright, so let's take a look at the abilities. So the first one is Charge Shot, and it basically fires a powerful shot that pierces through enemies. So you can see again, the fully upgraded version of this improves damage scaling, and it's got a -3 second charge delay. So it actually charges quicker. On the UI, you'll notice there's actually two little things. So you do have two of these, right? So if we're going to fire these, it's fully charged. We're going to let go, boom, and go straight through those guys. And we can do another one, straight through them. Powerful ability, honestly. Really, really strong. The next ability is Rain of Arrows. Now, this is how you fly with Grey Talon. And it's a bit weird at first, but when you get used to it, it's actually really, really strong. And this means Grey Talon can appear in positions where you don't expect them to be. And it is an area of effect attack, or at least it makes you fire multiple arrows out. So, you gain weapon damage and multi-shot on your weapon, which is the multiple arrow thing I was just trying to explain. I should have just said multi-shot, whatever. But it launches you into the air. That's the big thing. So, you can see it's got a bunch of other effects on it as well. But while airborne, plus 50% bullet lifesteal and plus 50% spirit lifesteal are active when it's fully upgraded. So you can use this as almost like a bit of a sustainability if you need to get out of trouble while also continuing to do damage. But I wouldn't say that's its primary use. So look, I'm up in the air. I'm not going to cancel this by pressing space, but you can see how my attack has changed. Also, if you do want to get down quick, you can press double crouch and you will use one of your staminas and get down to the ground really fast. But it's basically your movement ability, and it's really, really strong. The next ability is Immobilizing Trap. This is, I find this really annoying to play against because I don't see it. I don't know why. It's like, what? Anyway, you throw out a trap and it begins to arm itself, but once it's armed, it will trigger and it immobilizes enemies. So I'll throw this down and it will, once it arms, you'll see it arm. There you go. These guys are trapped and they can't move, which obviously is quite good because if you can't move in a game that relies on a lot of mobility, you're just going to get killed. So yeah. You generally leave this in annoying positions, especially in lane. This can be really annoying. But in team fights, like, you know, you could be up in the air. I grabbed the zip line, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, you could be up in the air like this. I'll throw one down quickly. Chuck it down. There you go. So these guys are going to get stunned. But anyway, or trapped, rather. They're not stunned. They can still attack, but they are rooted, I suppose. They're immobilized. Now, the ultimate, this is super frustrating. It will kill you a lot, right? Not you as Grey Talon, but it will kill the enemies, especially if you're playing against him. So it's just basically a massive owl that you can control, and it does a ton of damage when it explodes. And look at the final upgrade of it. After hit, kills enemies that are below 22% health. Yeah, it's like an execute. It's actually insane. It's just disgusting. Let me show you this anyway. So I'm going to pop it. Here's my little owlie. You can fly him around like, whee! I'm going to miss these guys. There we go. Boom! And they're dead. Well, at least one of them died. Really, really strong. But this is a really, really strong DPS hero. And I don't think he is particularly difficult either. I would recommend him for new players. So this is Haze. Haze is your 1v1 high single target damage assassin that can go invisible and also can sleep people and has got a massive AoE damaging ultimate. Right, let's take a look at the primary fire. So you've got ADS. This doesn't affect the weapon in any way that it functions. It's just ADS. It'll help you with aiming a little bit. Now, you do a lot of damage at close range with Haze. At any kind of medium range, though, your damage is basically non-existent. We're tickling Infuernus there. We'd be shooting him forever to actually kill him. So yeah, you're close range, and you always kind of will be. Yes, you can take items that'll increase your range, but you're probably not going to do that too much with your primary fire. You might do it for your abilities because you'll want your ultimate to have a bigger range. Anyway, the first ability is Sleep Dagger. This puts people to sleep. And you can see it's got a ton of annoying effects this has. So the first level of it, it removes one stamina from the target, which is annoying if you're trying to run away and you get the Sleep Dagger thrown into your back. Second is minus 13% cooldown, I should say. And finally, it applies minus 12% bullet resist for 6 seconds on wake up, which is really good because most of your damage is going to come from bullets if you're putting somebody to sleep. So again, yeah, you throw this at a target, they'll go to sleep. It's very obvious he's asleep there. You know he can't move. You can line up headshots and you can see he's got the bullet effect on him there. So we're going to do more damage to him for a few seconds after. Now, Smoke Bomb is your invis. You just go invis, right? You also actually gain 30% bullet lifesteal after for 8 seconds at the highest level on this, so you can use it for sustain. But basically, you just go invisible. So I'm invisible. I can run around. You move faster. You can position yourself, get into a position, whatever, and then you get the lifesteal as you come out of it. So lifesteal will be active on bullets, so then you can just shoot people and get more health back, which is good. Again, all of this plays into your 1v1 strength. Fixation is probably your best ability, as insane as this sounds. It's just a passive, but what this does is it increases your bullet damage on the target you're shooting. You gain 1 stack per bullet hit, 2 if the hit is a headshot. So it's incentivizing headshots, but you can see this is very, very powerful. So 60 spirit damage and 15% slow for 2 seconds to targets every 20 stacks, plus 30 max damage stacks and plus 5 second duration, and plus 0.2 per stack weapon damage. This is really, really strong. Generally, if you're playing Haze, you want to max this as soon as possible because most of your damage is just coming from this, getting close to people and just shooting them. And you'll have items as well that are giving you extra damage, things like the headshot damage multiplier because you're looking to try and, you know, headshot people and all kinds of stuff. And just straight up weapon speed increase, fire rate increase, damage increase, all of that stuff. The ultimate, though, this is where things get ridiculous. It almost doesn't fit the hero, but it's very strong. So you enter a flurry firing your weapons. This is like, what's it called from, what's the Christian Bale film? It's totally gone out of my head. Oh, no, you guys in the comments, you know what it is. Oh, no, what's it called? You know where they ban art? All art and books and everything are banned, and they've got that style of fighting with the guns where they're just shooting at everybody all around them. Why can I not remember what this film is called? That is actually going to kill me. It's going to literally give me a brain aneurysm. Anyway, that's what this is, right? So you're basically just shooting every direction around you. And yeah, it's insane. So imagine if you got into a position and you just pop this. It's a lot of damage. And of course, if you've got items that give you health back on bullet damage and ability damage and all that stuff, yeah, it's insane. She's a really strong hero, Haze is, but I get the feeling that she's really good against players that don't know what they're doing. But as soon as players get a little bit more wise to the way the game works, I think they can kind of download Haze a bit. But yeah, honestly, very strong and very, very fun to play. This is Infuernus. He doesn't have a gun. He's just got a finger. So yeah, he's the fire guy. He's really fast. He does a lot of damage. He's kind of got like an SMG, I guess. That's what I like to call his primary fire, although it's not really an SMG. He's just shooting out of his hand. His range, again, is like he's not going to be doing damage from massive range. So if I'm sort of at medium range here, you're not really going to be doing anything. You know, you compare that to heroes like Vindicta or Great Talon that are doing damage at those kind of range. Again, you're like a short-range hero. But I do think Infuernus is one of the stronger heroes in the game. He's just he's awesome. I was going to say he's cool. How can he be cool? He's literally on fire. But let's take a look at his abilities, right? So Catalyst, this is you spew napalm out. It's almost like you're breathing fire. And it slows enemy movement and amplifies the damage that you do to them. So you'll notice there is this running theme in Deadlock where abilities that you can use on a number of heroes increase the damage that you then do to that target. So it's promoting this comboing of your abilities, which I think is really cool, and it gives a nice flow to the gameplay. So yeah, like this is just insane. I mean, the fact that when it's fully upstate, in fact, I actually think the second upgrade is really strong for this. So the 20% lifesteal against victims is really, really good. Of course, the final upgrade to this as well is pretty damn strong. But yeah, you'll just spew fire out from in front of you. So again, the visuals are not the best. I do have 2 charges of it, and you can see the debuff is active. I mean, at the moment, this is obviously just a placeholder graphic. But yeah, it honestly is a really, really strong ability. Flame Dash is your movement ability, so you move forward very, very quickly, but you leave flame behind you, and the flame damages people. And again, you can see it's got a bunch of effects, but I do think the actual first upgrade to this, again, is really strong, because plus 30% fire rate slow on people that get hit by this, again, is really, really strong if you're using this to chase people down, or you're maybe trying to get into a 1v1, or you just want to debuff people in a team fight. Obviously, the max upgrade is good, having minus 20 second cooldown, I should say. But yeah, you just run around really quick. So if I run through these guys, you can see I'm setting them on fire. It's very strong, this. And of course, you'd be damaging these guys at this moment. Really strong. You should die from that. There you go. Just incredibly strong. Now, Afterburn, this is just a passive ability. And what this does is your bullets build up to apply a burning effect on enemies. Infuernus' bullets and abilities will refresh the duration. So this is like, again, it's similar to Haze in a lot of ways, where it is a very strong ability. Again, I'm not the best Infuernus player, so I don't know whether I could recommend just going for this straight away. Probably would put some points into it to begin with, but I think actually Catalyst and maybe Flame Dasher might be a little bit better. I don't know, but again, I'm not a pro, and I never will be. But yeah, pretty decent. And the ultimate, this is concussive combustion, and you generally use this to just blow the enemy team up, right? So it turns you into a living bomb that explodes after a short duration. Now, you don't want to use this without using this. So you flame dash into this and blow up the enemy team. And you can see this is just crazy. I mean, the upgrade to this, plus 115 damage and 100% lifesteal from enemy heroes hit. Yeah, and the reason why it's got that is because you're generally running into the enemy team. So if I'm running over here, I'm going to use my bomb, I'm going to blow up. Boom. You need the lifesteal.
I should be sitting on all this coin. Let me show you.
It's insane. It's actually insane. I really, really like this hero. It is insane. I need to play him more, actually. So this is Ivy. Now, Ivy can empower an allied hero. So when we talk about duo lanes, Ivy is really strong in a duo lane because you can empower the allied hero in the lane with you with this kind of link mechanic. And I'll show you, don't worry. Anyway, let's take a look at the primary fire. So really, really fast fire rate. I think this looks to be based on a Sten gun from World War II. The model does, although it's got 2 magazines in it. Again, ADS in and just firing from the hip doesn't make any difference. You can see the damage isn't particularly massive. On headshots, it's okay, but body shots, it's not great. Headshots, yeah, it's okay. Your range is also not particularly fantastic with the weapon as well. But that's really not what Ivy is about. Ivy is more so about support. So let's upgrade these abilities, and then let's just take a look at them. So this is Kudzu Bomb. So you summon a patch of choking vines that damages and slows enemies in its radius. Now, this is, again, really good in terms of catching people out of position or setting up a gank, even in lane or if you're going to a different lane. Ivy is very good for ganking as well. But, like, this will slow these guys down. Yeah, it does damage to them, that's fine. But it's more the component of slowing them down. That's what we're looking at here. And remember, these guys are only level 1 bots. And I've got fully upgraded abilities I'm throwing at them here. So, yeah, they're going to do quite a bit of damage. You get 2 charges of that, so really, really strong. The next ability is Watcher's Covenant. Now, this is the one where you empower your ally. So you gain bonuses and automatically connect with a nearby ally to share them. Healing is replicated among all those connected. Connection requires line of sight. Now, what is really good about this is late game, it actually has an additional tether. So you can target more of your team, which makes sense because you'll be more involved in team fights. Ivy's one of those characters that does get stronger towards the end of the game. Particularly not that strong at the start of the game, at least from what I've found. So, yeah, this is a really strong ability, and I guess we'll go over here just to show it on our allied target. But basically, we're tethered now. So we've got Watcher's Covenant active, and you can see it by the actual tether itself. You have to be within range for it to work. I think they're going to add a visual for this so you can tell the range. So obviously, I can't tell when I'm walking out of range of this, but yeah, it's very, very strong, especially if you're playing in a duo. Really strong. Stone form. Now, this is quite interesting because you turn yourself into a massive block of stone like a gargoyle, which is kind of what Ivy is. You smash into the ground, stunning and damaging enemies nearby. Heals you for a percentage of your max health. You have some air control before falling, so you can set up where you want to slam. Now, yeah, the upgrades to this are fine, but basically, this ability is just a stun, and it slams people when they're near you. So we'll wait for the ability to recharge, and then we'll go through it again, and we'll actually hit these guys with it. But you're invulnerable as well while you're doing this, so you will not take any damage. Again, you can use this if you get caught in, let's say, Dynamo. For some reason, I really want to call Dynamo Paradox. That's not right. Dynamo's ultimate, if you get caught in that, you can use this to sort of escape it. But anyway, yeah, you could come forward and slam these players. It's okay. It stuns them again. You'd probably be throwing this down at them as well. Stunning, slamming, area control, setting up kills for your team. That's what Ivy's all about, while supporting other players. Now, the ultimate, this is airdrop. So you take flight with an ally or a bomb. Allies gain bullet resist, but cannot attack or use abilities while lifted. Drop your ally or bomb to cause a large explosion that causes movement slow. Ivy and ally gain a bullet shield when flying ends. Fast cast time when targeting an enemy, long on self. So this is brand new. This wasn't Ivy's ultimate before. I mean, it's not really worth talking about the old ultimate. This is the new one. It's quite a complicated ultimate, probably the most complicated one in the game at the moment. But again, you can see it's all geared for assisting your allies, right? If you've got somebody who can't close range and you want to get them into the fight fast, you can pick them up and just throw them down. And the added bonus is they blow up like a bomb as well. It doesn't affect them, but it does affect the enemy. This is really strong, and obviously on its maximum upgrade, it applies a silence, which means enemies are not using abilities, which is super strong. So again, just to show this off, we'll cast it on Self, because well, I guess we could have picked him up, but whatever. And we'll drop the bomb. There we go. I missed, kind of. Sort of. Drop the bomb. You can speed up as well. Ivy is, like, if you're looking to be a support character, in the sense of you're just there to assist your allies, maybe try Ivy. I think Ivy's probably going to be one of the heroes that maybe I don't play the most, because this type of gameplay, I don't know, sometimes I struggle with it. But then again, I'm getting old. I'm turning into a boomer, so maybe I need to be supporting my allies. Who knows? But that's Ivy. Okay, it's confession time. I actually hate Kelvin. I hate Kelvin. Not in the way that he's terrible to play. He is horrific to play against. This guy is so annoying. So his primary fire is very slow. It does decent damage. Again, the range on it is not great. You're not going to be doing massive damage with this at range. It's something you're going to be using at closer range, which is fine. Obviously, it does headshot damage, but everything does headshot damage. So ADS, again, is just exactly the same as non-ADS firing from the hip. So the ability is, well, you've basically got a heal, you've got a movement ability, you've got a dome you can spawn which traps people in place, and you've got a freezing ray that disarms enemies. It is literally the most frustrating hero, I should say, ever. So Frost Grenade, this heals people, right? Only when it's upgraded to the second level. So at the first level, it only damages and slows enemies. Second level, it now heals for 135 HP to friendly targets, but it scales with spirit. So if you're getting tons of spirit items, you're going to actually be healing quite a lot with this. And then its final upgrade is more damage. So yeah, this has got quite a long range on it as well. So if I was all the way over here, I could be yeeting this at these guys. Does quite a lot of damage, and it is slowing them down. And I do have 2 charges, but there is a cooldown on it. And remember, this heals when you upgrade it to level 2. Ice Path is your way of moving around. It feels a bit janky at first, but basically it creates a floating trail of ice and snow that gives movement bonuses to you and your allies. You get 60% slow resistance for the duration as well. And you see at the bottom, everyone gets a movement speed increase if they want to use this and follow you. You can use it to get over terrain. And yeah, so basically, if I want to get over here, I don't know whether I can get over this part of the map. We'll try. Well, I can definitely get over this. So if I want to run like this, you can see how you've got left shift will move you up, left control will move you down. But look how fast this is. Very good for changing lane position, getting into a lane to gank people. An insane movement ability. And what you would generally do is when you've got your ultimate available is you jump into the enemy lane, drop your ultimate, the frozen shelter, on maybe a weaker target, or even just a target you want to lock down and get out of the fight, because it's invulnerable, it will not be destroyed. But everybody in it is basically fighting you 1v1. Anyway, Arctic Beam, this is frustrating as hell, this is. So it basically, it prevents you from attacking when it's hitting you. So it's got it damages targets and building up movement and fire rate slow against them the longer you sustain the beam on them. You have reduced movement speed while using it. So there is a downside to it, but look at this, right? The maximum upgrade, it fires 2 additional Arctic beams towards enemies within 15 meters of the last target hit. So these 2 guys will get hit by this. Watch this, it's disgusting. And you'll see the effect come up on them. Oh no, I apologize actually. It's changed, sorry, it's changed. I'm slating Kelvin. Because this used to actually remove your weapon. It doesn't. I actually read that it didn't do that, didn't I? Yeah. No, so it doesn't remove your weapon completely. It just drops down your fire rate. Okay. And it slows you down. Okay, so it's not as annoying as it was. But before, it used to literally silence you. Well, not silence, but disarm you. That's the word I'm looking for. So you didn't even have a weapon. Super frustrating. But that still is annoying. I mean, it is annoying. Slows things that stop your weapon or reduce your weapon speed. I've never been a big fan of them, but whatever. All right, so basically the ultimate is this. You can't get out of it. Well, you can destroy it, but I'm not going to destroy it. Well, the enemy can't get out of it, and no one can fire into it. But it does have modifiers, right? So plus 40% fire rate slow when people are in it. Super annoying. Second level is minus 40 seconds cooldown. Final level is plus 70 health, regen, and now scales with spirit. But you can see where this is going, right? If I've got the dome down and the fire rate slow is active of 40%, and then I'm also beaming them in the dome and it's fully upgraded and the beam is hitting multiple targets in the dome, everyone is getting slowed, everyone's got no fire rate, they're in there with you, and then you're throwing grenades in the dome. You get what I'm saying with this? Kelvin is an absolute bastard. I'm just going to say it. He is annoying as hell. Lady Giest is actually badass. Now, this revolver does insane damage. So I'm shooting with this just from the hip. It is really, really strong. You're going to land headshots with this. Oh, it's crazy powerful. Also, ADS doesn't really make any difference to this. It's still the same as fired from hip. I think it's only Bebop, actually, that benefits from ADS. Again, that might get changed. But anyway, what Lady Giest is very, very strong 1v1 and has got a ton of lifesteal. And I mean a ton. And if you see Lady Giest with low HP, don't be fooled, because that doesn't mean she's about to die. It means she's about to take all of your health with her ultimate. But anyway, let's break this down. So, Essence Bomb. You sacrifice some of your health to launch a bomb that deals damage after a brief arm time. Now, look at this, the way this works. So, bombs leave a toxic mess on the ground, dealing 22% of the original damage per second for 6 seconds. You get 2 meter radius level 1. The next level, you get plus 60 damage. And the final level is the toxic mess you leave on the ground. But this does use your health, right? So there is a trade-off. It's not a lot of health that you use, but it is using some of your health. Again, remember, I am upgraded here as well with the abilities. This is annoying, and this is really good early game harassing in the lane. It's super frustrating. So this is where things get funky. This is life drain. So you create a tether that drains enemy health over time, and it heals you, because obviously it's a life drain. But the targets must be within line of sight and within max range to drain. You can shoot and use other abilities during the drain, but your movement speed is reduced by half. And this is a notable thing they seem to do balance-wise in the game. If you've got an ability that is like a channeled ability, or its ability which is activates over time, or is active for a period of time, and it's debuffing the enemy in some way, whether it's a life drain or slowing them down or whatever, you generally have a negative effect affecting your movement speed as well. It seems to be the way they balance. Of course, movement is very powerful in this game. Now, fully upgraded, this bad boy, it silences the enemy, which is, again, super frustrating. So if you get close to the enemies, and I use this on this guy, I mean, in 1v1, this is just ridiculous. Like, because obviously you're shooting as well. They're silenced. They can't use abilities. You're just hammering them. She's actually insane, Lady Giest is, in 1v1 situations. I think she's better than Haze, to be honest, in a lot of situations, especially 1v1. So Malice, so you sacrifice some of your health to launch blood shards that apply a stack of Malice. Each stack slows the victim and increases the damage they take from you. The slow effect decreases over time. Now, the fully upgraded version of this gives you an extra 6 blood shards as well. So like this, you can spam it really fast. It's got a pretty short cooldown. But look, you can see the stacks on top of the target there. It's just ridiculous. So remember, using all your abilities at this point. In 1v1, you're spamming this, shooting it. Just crazy. You throw some of this down as well. Crazy. Like, you don't care about using or losing your health on abilities, because you're going to get it back through the fact that your abilities, well, you've got life drain, right? So the ultimate, this is the ultimate life drain, right? You basically take the health of the player that you're playing against, and they get your health. So this means it incentivizes you being very low health and thinking, oh, I'm nearly dead. I mean, look at this bot Infuernus. If I had his HP and then he had mine and we swapped health, well, then he'd have my no, I'm getting really confused here. If I had his HP and he had mine and I used this ability, he would then look like this with no health, and I would look like I've got full health. That's what I was trying to say. But anyway, so this is Lady Giest's ultimate ability. It's Soul Exchange. This basically gives you the health, or gives your health to the enemy. This is really, really strong, because if you're low health, I mean, look at the description. It swaps health levels with an enemy target. There is a minimum health percentage that enemies can be brought down to, and a minimum amount of health received based on the victim's current health. And the min is 20%, and the enemy health is 20%, sorry. And the minimum health received is 30%. But you can see how this would be ridiculously powerful, right? I've actually used it before recording this section because I'm an idiot. There's not much to see, but it basically just changes the health round. So if Lady Giest is really low health in a fight, and you're maybe 1v1 in this bot Kelvin, and he's got a ton of health, and let's say I've got 100 health, and then I pop this, well, then he's got my health and I've got his health. Oh dear, he's going to die. Lady Giest is very, very strong. I really like Lady Giest's design. It's very unique, very, very unique, Lady Giest. Good hero, though. This is Lash. If you go and look at Lash's breakdown in the hero gallery, it's just, the lore for him just says Lash is an asshole. That's it. Lash is an asshole. Lash, Ash, I can't say those together first. Anyway, Lash, he is an asshole. He's highly mobile, very disruptive. If you like playing Doomfist in Overwatch, you will love this hero. It's literally Doomfist from Overwatch. It's crazy. So let's take a look at his primary fire actually first. So it's very fast fire little burst, 3-shot burst. Again, like, the range on this is not going to be amazingly good. It's actually not. It's crap. But it is. It's not what Lash is about. Lash is about lashing everyone, as the name suggests. Obviously, ADS again doesn't make any difference. So yeah. Right then, let's get into the abilities, because this is what you all want to see with Lash. So ground strike. You stomp the ground beneath you, damaging enemies in front of you. If you perform ground strike while airborne, you quickly dive towards the ground. Damage grows slower after 25 meters. So struck enemies are popped into the air and slowed by 50% for 3 seconds. That's what I want you guys to take away from this. The second level upgrade to this ability makes it incredibly incredibly annoying, right? Also, the final upgrade, damage per meter plus 110%. Yeah, you want to get... I mean, that's just stupid. But anyway, close range ability, and I was a bit too out of range from those guys there. But it will stun them because we do have this upgraded to the max level. But watch, you'll pop them into the air. Pop! Now, obviously, you're using this as your close distance, so I'm not going to run up to them and pop that. That would be stupid. I'd use maybe another ability to close range, which I'll show you in a second. So grapple, this is the ability of closing range. It's actually insane. So you pull yourself through the air towards a target. Using grapple also restores 1 stamina charge and all air jumps and dashes. Again, playing into the highly ridiculously mobile nature of Lash. So, yeah, you can see the upgrades there, but I think the biggest one to take away is the plus 20% fire rate to weapon bonus buff. Insane. But basically, yeah, you can whip people. You come running in. So then I ground pound, although I did that in the wrong direction because I'm an idiot. But you see our close distance there? You can't get away from Lash. If Lash wants to chase you down, you will not be getting away from him unless you've got some way of crowd controlling him, or you just kill him, or you get lucky and your team saves you. He will hunt you down. So Flog, you strike enemies with your whip and you steal life from them. Again, that's great, isn't it? Because you basically... Let's see if I can do it properly this time and not be an absolute feeder. So if I'm going to Lash... Okay, I'm an absolute feeder, but I would Lash in, get close to him, then I would ground pound, right? Just take my word for it. Then I'd Lash, get myself a bit of life steal. Obviously, while I'm doing this, I'm firing, and maybe even I'm just meleeing them right as I'm in there. Disgusting. So let's talk about the ultimate, because this is actually disgusting beyond belief. It's Death Slam, and you literally whip people up into the air with you and then slam them down into the ground. So focus on enemies to connect whips to them. After channeling, connected enemies are lifted and stunned, then slammed into the ground. Your victims and any enemies in the landing zone will be damaged and slowed. You press left mouse button to throw connected enemies early. Enemies that are not in line of sight or go out of range during the latch time will not be grabbed. Right, so, yeah, you get ready for this.
Alright, I'm done playing with you.
Yeah, you see that? It is disgusting. But imagine if you were in the air. Imagine if I just used my... I don't know. I'm coming down from here, and then I pop my ultimate. I pick him up, slam him down into the ground. Then I could be like ground pounding him as he hits the ground. I mean, I'm not really showing you this. I'll be honest, this is one of those heroes that I'm not going to be particularly great with because it just kind of messes with my brain, all this movement tech. But like I said, if you're a Doomfist player in Overwatch, you'll be dominant with this hero. And he is one of the strongest heroes in the game at the moment by an absolute mile. Players who are good with Lash just completely dominate the lobby because there's so much movement, there's sustain, there's damage. It's just... It's mental. It's actually crazy. This is McGinnis. Now, McGinnis is Torbjorn from Overwatch, or the engineer from TF2. Basically, you've got turrets, and you're very good at lane pushing, and you've got siege ability, so you can siege turrets down as well. You're basically a pusher with McGinnis, but there are loads of different ways you can build all the heroes in this game. Like McGinnis, for example, you could go for more of a turret build, and you can actually have your turrets debuffing people based on the items that you've got, and then you could become a right frustrating, annoying menace, or you could just build her for straight up damage with a primary fire, which is massively strong if you build items that just give you bonuses to primary fire damage. So yeah, you've got ADS, but what you'll notice with this is it's a chain gun, and it actually increases in fire rate the longer it's fired. It also has quite a big magazine because, of course, it is a chain gun. But you can increase your mag size, increase your damage, increase your range. McGinnis is really, really strong with a primary fire. So let's take a look at the turrets. Now, the turrets, you know what? I don't know whether so if I chuck them down here, they're just going to continually keep firing at these guys and killing them over and over again, and it might be quite annoying. So we'll throw them down in a minute. I'll throw them down at the end of this section, let's say. But anyway, mini turret. So you deploy a little turret and it shoots enemies, right? But turrets gain 30% of McGinnis' max health and have 60% spirit resist. So the more health you've got, the stronger and more durable your turrets are. First level gives you an additional turret and also lets the turret slow targets by 25%, which is super annoying. Second level is 10-meter attack range and 10% turret fire rate, I should say. I don't know where I'm getting turn from. And then you just get more damage for the final one. But I'm not going to throw these down, but basically you chuck these down, and yeah, they will keep shooting. You put them in little positions so the enemy can't see them. So this is a line of sight blocker. We can see through it, but through the... Actually, you can see through both sides. No, you can't. We can only see through this side. Anyway, whatever. Just ignore that. I'm terrible. But yeah, the turret, you can get 2 of them, which is cool. I think you can get more, actually, through items possibly as well. Yeah, I think you can. Unless the item was removed out of the game. A lot changes in the game. But anyway, turrets are really good, and I'll show you in a second. Next is the Medical Spectre. Now, this originally could be destroyed. So this thing is a heal. And originally, enemies could shoot this and destroy it. But it's basically a big AoE heal. This is really good because it keeps McGinnis in the fight. It means you've got a lot of lane sustain. It's almost the first ability, well, the second ability you want to get after your turrets, I suppose. It's really, really strong. It basically just heals. It's just a massive heal. It heals everybody in the area as well. But like I said, this keeps McGinnis in the lane, plays into the whole thing of just being a lane pusher. Spectral Wall. Now, if you're a Mei enjoyer from Overwatch, you'll know what this is going to do straight away. It spawns a massive wall. Now, the wall actually does do damage if you slam people with it, because it's got spikes on it. You can sort of see it in the description. Creates a wall that divides the terrain in half. On creation, the wall deals damage and applies a slow. So there is an element to timing this. So, see, I timed it there on Kelvin, did damage to him. It's a bit of damage. It's a massive wall, and this can't be destroyed. You can remove it yourself. You couldn't actually in the earlier versions of the game. But this is obviously massively strong. People trying to run away from you, you wall them off. Walling off in a fight, massively strong. It's just a really, really powerful ability. Let's see if I can get Infuernus with this one. There you go. But I've actually got him behind the wall, so I'd have to bring the wall down to do damage. So you want to always trap them, you know, your side of the wall effectively. Now the ultimate. We'll show you the ultimate over here, because the ultimate, its use is sieging the enemy base. Let's kill these. Well, that's not its only use. I should caveat that and say that is not its only use. But it is the thing that you'll probably use the ultimate for to begin with when you first start playing with McGinnis. So let's just take these little guys out and then we'll use it. Because obviously in a team fight, this is really good. It's really good for killing people when they don't expect to be killed or expect to get pushed. Basically, we're going to pop this and you'll see what it is. As everybody's dead. Of course, some of my minions will die. But hopefully you get the idea from this. See, I'm hitting those minions in the back. Really good range on this. Long duration. Again, a load of items can augment this. It's just like a multiple rocket launch system from your back that does an absolute ton of damage. And you're vulnerable while you're using it, don't get me wrong, because you can't move very fast. But it is still very, very strong. And McGinnis, I think McGinnis is just great. But anyway, just to show you the upgrades to this. First tier applies a 35% movement slow, then you get 50-second cooldown, or minus 50-second cooldown, and then you just get extra damage. But this is, it's very strong. McGinnis is a really, really strong hero. And just to show you the turrets as well, let's throw two of these down. And when this one's ready, and they'll just keep shooting. But obviously, you know, you're doing this as well. Maybe you've dropped your heal down because you've been pushed. You want to trap this guy behind the wall. McGinnis, really, really strong. And then we want to use our ultimate at this guy. Just show you the damage, which is ludicrous on the ultimate. I mean, look at that. It's crazy. So I do just want to say again, it isn't just for destroying turrets. That's not what I meant. I just meant it's very good for pushing the turrets when the turrets are taking damage, because then they're able to actually receive damage. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. This is Krill and Maurice, or Mo and Krill. And close range, massive amounts of health. Stuns you, just like an insane brawler, tanky style hero. Kind of in the same sort of league as, let's say, Abrams, wanting to get in their close range and lock people down in that type of way. So, primary fire is woeful. Also, this is the first dual hero as well. Now, when I say woeful, I'm being a bit harsh. It's okay, but you basically, it's close range, right? You're not going to be using this at any medium range or long range. Again, ADS doesn't really do anything to it, which is fine. Just zooms you in a bit. Okay, let's smack these guys down. Okay, so let's take a look at the abilities. So the first ability is Scorn. So you deal damage to nearby enemies and heal yourself based on the damage done. Heal is stronger against enemy heroes. This is just sustain. Now, if you're playing with Mo and Krill in lane, you will get hit a lot. You're a big target for a start, but you're going to get pressured a lot. You need sustain. You need to be able to play with the minion waves, try and get health off them, and obviously try and get health off enemy heroes when the chance arises. But just to show you this, oh, in fact, the final upgrade to this as well is something to note, is it adds a debuff to enemies that lets Mo and Krill deal 15% damage to them, and it stacks and lasts 16 seconds. So if I use this here, these guys have got the debuff on them, you can see there, so you're going to do more damage to them at close range. Again, you're not going to do massive damage. That's not what this is about. It's more about locking people down so other players in your team can kill them. So Burrow is your movement ability, and it basically puts you underground. So if you're an enjoyer of heroes that go underground, you will like Maurice. Mo and Krill. Maurice is basically the big guy, and Krill is the little guy, I believe. Anyway, you burrow underground, you move faster and gaining spirit and bullet armor, which is good because it makes you more tanky when you pop out from the ground. Damage from enemy heroes will reduce the speed bonus. When you jump out, knock enemies into the air and perform a spin attack that damages and slows. Again, insane. So I'll show you this. So obviously, you know, you're going to use this for movement. Here you go. If I get to these guys here and I'm going to pop out the ground, I spin them and slap them, and then I'm doing damage to them. You may be using this ability to get healing off them and debuff them. Very, very strong. I want to call these dive heroes, but that's like more of an Overwatch term. I mean, is that even fair to say in Deadlock? I don't know. Maybe it is. Sandblast. Okay, so this is annoying as hell because it disarms targets. So you basically spray sand everywhere and you disarm enemies in front of you. So again, this plays the whole thing of comboing abilities. Using this to close range, this to keep yourself alive when you got there, this to take the weapons off the enemies as well, to help keep yourself alive, prevent them from doing damage. It also slows targets by 50% as well. So if we were by these guys and we slam them, or we've only just slammed him, so he took his weapon. I think you can slam multiple targets with this. Yeah, it does enemies in front of you. I don't think it's got the range though, or at least I probably don't have the items for that. You can see this icon coming up here. That's the ultimate, right? So this just locks you in place and you just get smashed to hell, right? So you hold the target in place and stunning them and dealing damage during the channel. If they die during your combo, you permanently, and I'll read that again, permanently gain max health. So you always want to use this whenever you can, if you can, to kill someone, because you gain max health, which is really good, especially on a tanky hero. Let's just try 3 again, see if I can hit these guys. Yeah, I did hit both of them. So you can see, that means that basically the weapon has been disarmed. They're not silenced. They can still use abilities, but the weapon has been disarmed. This is disgusting. This is actually disgusting. We'll use it on Kelvin because I don't like him. So he can't move. I can't move. He can't move. And you just slap the crap out of him. It's like slap fight, but an ability. Now, it didn't do much damage to him, but it doesn't matter because he's literally stuck there. If this is a team fight, your team are just going to destroy him. It's insane. So Mo and Krill, very, very strong. If you're an Abrams enjoyer, you will be an enjoyer of Mo and Krill because it's similar in a lot of ways. You know, you're using your movement to get in. You're popping out the ground. You're cracking your heel. You're doing damage to them. You're silencing them. It's super frustrating. But a good hero, though. And visually looks really good as well. This is Paradox. Paradox is probably like the top tier, sweatiest character in the game for the pro gamers, right? Paradox is insane. It's all about 1v1. Very, very good 1v1 if you can aim. That's the problem I've got, right? So the primary fire, it's a burst fire sort of SMG, I guess we can call this. Does good damage. Obviously at like medium to close range. You're not going to be doing damage at long range with this because, yeah, that's not what this is about. Also, the ADS is just the same. It doesn't really affect anything. It's just a little zoom. So let's take a look at the abilities. So the first one is Pulse Grenade. So you throw a grenade that begins pulsing when it lands. Each pulse applies damage, movement slow, and stacking damage amplification for Paradox against the victim. So if people are being hit by this a lot, and then you start shooting them, you're doing more damage to them. Again, it plays to that whole 1v1 thing. If you get caught in a 1v1 fight, you're throwing this on the floor. You can see the upgrades to it are okay. They give additional pulses, but we'll get both of these guys in it. You throw it down, you see it's pulsing. You can see the debuff is active on them. It's doing a lot of damage. The debuff is active on them. We're going to do more damage to them. A very, very strong ability. Time Wall is... it's like a shield, right? But, well, it's a really cool shield. So it creates a time warping wall that stops time for all enemy projectiles and bullets that touch it. Enemies that touch the wall will take damage as a percentage of their max health and be briefly slowed. So the maximum upgrade of this we should talk about, because enemies that touch the time wall will be silenced for 3 seconds. So it gives it kind of like multiple uses. Like you can throw it like at enemies as well to try and like, obviously you can still shoot through it as well, which, you know, their projectiles are not going to come through this. Yours are. But if you throw it on them, you'll silence them. So you think of like a 1v1 situation, you can use it to silence. Then you can also, if you're a Winston enjoyer from Overwatch, you can bait through the wall. Or you can juke through the wall, we should probably call it, like back and forth, back and forth. Just incredibly strong. Now, this is where things get mental. This is the pro gamer element. So it's kinetic carbine. You start charging your weapon and gain increased movement speed. Once it's fully charged, your next shot will release the energy, dealing spirit damage and applying a time stop to the enemy hit. The damage dealt is an amplification of your current weapon damage. So obviously, if you're building weapon damage, you're going to do even more damage. You can slow time on yourself by pressing right mouse button while an empowered shot is available. That just means things slow down for you, obviously not enemy players. You don't slow down the lobby. Let me show you this. See, it's charged. Watch this. It does a lot of damage. Now, you can imagine using this. You know, you're shooting people like this. They're getting low health. Maybe they're even getting comfortable, right, with the damage that you're doing to them. And you're like, oh, yeah, shooting these dudes, it's great. Getting some of this. Going to slow down time in the sky. Boom! Big shot. Now, as you get items, remember, I've got no items here at all. But if I was in the shop here and I bought all the items and I've got, like, you know, crazy stuff like glass cannon and all of that, you just delete people with kinetic carbine. Like, you literally just delete them. Oh, I shouldn't have used that as my ultimate. I apologize. I tried to use kinetic carbine. Boom! Okay, whatever. But I've got no damage items. But believe me, guys, when you've got items, this thing is completely mental. It's crazy. Now, as you can see, I did use my ultimate like an idiot, but it's got a short cooldown. But what this does is it fires a projectile and you swap positions. You also get spirit lifesteal and the enemy takes damage over time. Again, this is really good. If people are trying to get away from you, you can be like, no, you come back here and we can swap positions. So let's say he's running away from me, I'm running towards him. No. Let's swap positions. There we go. Obviously, and you'd be throwing all your abilities down. Maybe you chuck a bit of this. Kinetic carbine charging up. Boom. Yeah, Paradox, really, really strong hero. Take it from me, guys. Incredibly strong. So this is Pocket. Pocket is basically close range with a shotgun, can hide in his briefcase, and can teleport to his coat. That's right. That's what he can do. So shotgun damage, obviously, yeah, shotgun. It's going to be good at close range, not great at any kind of medium or long range, which makes sense. It's got a really good reload animation as well. And ADS is just, well, ADS is a zoom-in functionality. So let's take a look at the abilities, and they're quite complicated with Pocket, so get ready for this. So Barrage, you channel to start launching projectiles out of your briefcase, naturally. That deal damage and apply movement slow around their impact point. Each projectile landed on a hero grants you a stacking buff that amplifies all of your damage. So you use this to hit enemies to increase your damage, and then once this finishes channeling, you shoot them with your primary fire, you're going to do more damage to them, right? Good stuff. However, if you cast it while in the air, you'll float and maintain any horizontal movement you started with. So if we jump up in the air, let's jump around on the zip wire. Let's go. And then we use it. Oh.
This case isn't running out of ghosts anymore.
See this? You sort of like hover. But anyway, it's now... You can't use your primary fire while you're using it as well, but it does empower the damage that you're doing. Flying Cloak. This is... well, you launch a sentient cloak. Just think like... Doctor Strange. That's what this is. You launch a sentient cloak, although you can teleport to your cloak, and travels forward and damages enemies, and you can press 2 to teleport to it. So if we go over here and we throw this through these bad boys, you see the damage it does. And then I want to get to it. Woo! I can teleport to it. It's much better than something like Dynamo's teleport, for example, although Dynamo can teleport his allies. It is to note, though, that the final upgrade of this gives +7 weapon damage for 10 seconds after teleporting with the flying cloak. So that helps you, again, if you are looking to dive on somebody and gank them. The next ability is Enchanter's Satchel. So this is where you just go into your briefcase. I would change the name of this to something else. And surely they could come up with a good name for this, but whatever. You basically become a massive target when you're in this. People know you're hiding in it because you're about to die, so they wait for you to come out of it, but whatever. When the duration ends, you deal damage to nearby enemies. Duration can be ended early by performing any action. And now the final upgrade to this applies a 40% fire rate slow to target. So if you are getting pushed and you're like, oh no, I'm going to die, you can get in your briefcase, and then when it pops, these have got a fire rate slow, and then you can be like, ah, no, get me away. And also you can throw this up into the air and be like, no, get me away. And you can quickly get away. So yeah, I do like Pocket, actually. Pocket's pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about the ultimate. This is Affliction. It applies damage over time to all enemies nearby, but Affliction's damage is non-lethal and does not apply item procs. Also, the second tier upgrade to this is really good because it suppresses the target's healing. So again, think about this hero, right? Think about what we'd be doing, right? Imagine if we wanted to close distance, we could be like... actually, let's go over here. If we wanted to close distance, we could be like, let's throw this up into the air. Okay, let's teleport to it. Let's channel some of this. Bang, 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 bang. Let's give these guys a bit of this. Quickly went into my briefcase and came out of it for the bloody fire rate slow. And then you could be like, well, I'm going to use my ultimate. as well. And yeah, Pocket is really good. Honestly, Pocket is good. From what I've experienced, though, Pocket kind of does suffer a little bit early lane, but then just becomes really, really strong. So do watch out for Pocket. Die, Kelvin, and you as well. Okay, this is 7. The first hero I actually played in Deadlock. Very, very straightforward to play. So your weapon is decent. It's decent sort of mid-range damage as well. Let's let the damage numbers go. Well, no, because that was stacking up. He's not doing 200 damage per shot at this range. It's okay, though. It's fast-firing. It's quite forgiving. It's easy to use. Blah, 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 blah. But you can augment the way it actually functions with a damage proc, which is one of your abilities. Anyway, lightning ball. So you basically throw a massive ball that when it hits something, it will stay on that target until that target disappears, and it will keep moving forward. So, again, really strong this is. The movement slow is really strong. So I throw it at this guy. You see it's stuck on him. When he dies, it will go through him. Goes to the wall. Cooldown is nearly available for another one. We'll throw it into Infuernus to get the same effect. I mean, this is great for wave clear as well. Really, really good ability. Static charge. Now, this empowers your weapon. So, oh, hang on. No, it doesn't. What am I talking about? That's power surge. I'm an idiot. Ignore me. I was like, hey, what? No, what am I talking about? Anyway, static charge. This applies a charge to a target enemy hero, and it stuns and damages them, which is, again, super frustrating. Because, like, you can throw this at them. It's very easy to land. You can see the graphic go, and then they'll be stunned. There we go. Actually affected him as well in that area. Yeah, it's insane. To be honest, I don't think it did that last time I played. It was only single target. It wasn't AoE, maybe. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But, yeah, this is frustrating as hell. Because, again, it's very easy to pull off. You know, if you're in a fight, if you're, like, chucking your stuff around, you're shooting like this, like that, look how easy it is to get that off. Maybe I'll do a bit of disengaging, get a bit of high ground here. He's stunned on the ground. Yeah, you can see where that goes. This, though, Power Surge, again, I would have used Power Surge in that fight, but I didn't want to use it because I want to explain it now. But this basically makes all your bullets electrify everybody. So you power up your weapon with a shock effect, making your bullets proc shock damage on your target. This shock bounces to enemies near your target. Occurs once per burst. So crazy. And actually, we should probably talk about the tier 3 upgrade to this, because it works really well in conjunction with your ultimate. So you get plus 12 shock damage, improved spirit scaling, and plus 3 max jumps. And max jumps means you can keep jumping up into the air, get height, and then pop your ultimate, which turns you into a massive storm cloud. And I mean, it is actually massive. So if I'm going to use the proc here, these guys are kind of out of range, but you just do straight up damage anyway. You can see I'm doing spirit damage as well as bullet damage. Spirit is the purple damage. But you can see there you go. We've got a bit of it hitting him here. So again, good for wave clear, used in conjunction with this, used in conjunction with power surge. Your wave clear potential is insane with this hero. But in a team fight, you're also doing a ton of damage. Right, let's talk about the ultimate. So you just turn into a storm cloud. Watch this, right? And you just do damage to everybody in the area, and it's a lot of damage. This is all spirit damage. So if you've got items that increase spirit damage, you'll do loads of damage with this. If you've got items that increase reach and range of your abilities, you'll do even more damage with this because you've got more range. It is insane. Now, obviously, you're vulnerable while it's active, but you're not that vulnerable because, look, you get plus 35% bullet resist while you're channeling it for the first level upgrade, which is actually insane. So this hero, very straightforward. You'll get a lot of value. Probably, you know, one of the easier heroes to get to grips with the game. I probably would recommend playing 7 if you're new to the game. But yeah, just a very powerful hero. This is Shiv. Now, Shiv is one of the newer heroes in the game, and I'll be totally honest, I've not actually played any games with Shiv. In fact, Shiv is the latest hero in the game. From what I can tell, though, from playing against him, is he does seem to have quite a lot of close-range damage, but I guess we're about to find out if that's true. So his weapon is a shotgun, which would indicate, yeah, he's about close-range damage. Oh, actually, his alternate fire is not normal. So his ultimate fire is an ADS. It's actually it looks like he's firing 2 rounds out of the shotgun. Yeah. So primary fire, you're firing 1. Secondary fire, you're firing 2. It does knock you back as well. That's interesting, because if you're in a fight and you want to get out quick, you can use that to get back a bit faster. Also, you've got a rage bar as well. Okay, what the hell is this about? What is this hero? Everything is too complicated in this game. Okay, let's take a look at the abilities anyway. So, serrated knives. Throw a knife that damages and slows an enemy. Each additional hit adds a stack that refreshes the debuff duration, causing the damage to increase per stack. Ultimate unlock. While rage is full, knives will ricochet to another enemy and apply a slow to enemies they bleed. Okay, all right. Okay.
They're gonna bleed.
So these must be a bit too far away. Oh, no, we did ricochet then.
Took out Kelvin.
Okay. So it's all about knifing. I'm loving it. Let's do it again, because I think we can hit both with this.
I see you.
That hit both, or am I tripping? He does have a knife in his chest. He doesn't seem to have one in him. But anyway, yeah, that's serrated knives. So slice and dice. Perform a dash forward, damaging enemies along the path. Ultimate unlock. While rage is full, an echo of Shiv retraces the dash path after a short delay, damaging the enemies again. Oh, God. So this is like double the damage.
No one gets the drop on me.
The visual on that looks sick. What? Look at the visual. And then that shadow going through as well. Bloodletting. Take only a portion of incoming damage immediately and defer the rest to be taken over time. Activate to clear a portion of the deferred damage. Well, I'm not taking damage here, so it'll be a bit hard to show this. But while rage is full, the amount of damage deferred is increased. So you basically just get... It's like a warrior from World of Warcraft. The more damage you're doing, you get in rage, but you get more rage from knifing people than you do from shooting them. And while that's active, I mean, there's no damage to clear, so I can't really use Bloodletting. I'd have to, I guess, make these guys shoot me, but I don't kind of want to do that. Let's go over here and I'll make these guys... You can, I mean, by the way, you can do it. There's like the whole control system in the game for testing stuff. It's really cool. But let's just take some damage off the turret. And then we'll... Do we need to... Incoming damage immediately? Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, you can see my health is like recovering a bit, I guess. Anyway, yeah. It's just sustainability, and I'll leave it at that. This seems really interesting, though, because if this is what they're doing with adding newer heroes, making them like this level of complex, it's insane. But remember, this is still early dev. You know, a lot of things can change. The ultimate ability is Killing Blow. This is Execute, so I do know about this. It's similar to Grey Talon's Execute, I guess, in a way, although this is maybe a bit better. So basically, activate to leap towards an enemy hero and instantly kill them if their health is below the kill threshold. Otherwise, you just do 200 damage to them. And the kill threshold is... I don't know. What is the kill threshold? Oh, there, it's right in front of me, so it's 28%. So... Let's get this guy down. Do we think that's 28%? Probably. Let's try it, so we should kill him. And then once we're in the fight, you can be doing a bit of this, a bit of that, chucking knives into people. Oh dear. This is actually crazy. And even if you don't execute them, you're still going to do 200 damage anyway. I mean, I guess that's why it's called Shiv anyway. He likes knives. It's probably from London. Anyway, moving on. Okay, this is Vindicta. Now, Vindicta is the sniper character, and probably the character a lot of, like, FPS players will pick up straight away. Because, like, oh, yeah, sniper, let's go. So, Vindicta's got good range. The primary fire is pretty good as well. And, again, the range is decent on this. So, think like Grey Talon. They're both snipers, I guess. So, their range is decent as well. Again, this can be upgraded, obviously, with items. Your ADS is just exactly the same as well. But wait till you see the ultimate. You'll love it. Anyway. So let's take a look at the abilities. So stake, you throw a stake that tethers enemies to the location where the stake lands. Enemy movement is restricted to the length of the tether. Also at the top level, it disarms targets. So if I throw this here, it will tether these guys to the ground. And in theory, that makes it easier for you to hit them, right? Because you know they can't escape that area. The next ability is Flight, which just exactly what it says on the tin. You can fly. So you jump into the air and you can just fly around. And your weapon also deals bonus spirit damage. So if you do build spirit items, you will do more damage. And yeah, basically you can just fly. So left shift will make you fly up. Left control will make me fly down. And yeah, you do more damage while you're in this mode. Again, it's great because you can think like if you're playing against Vindicta, she's not going to be on the ground. She'll be up in the air like this. She could be up here, firing down like to you in this position there. Really, really good hero, especially for movement. Crow Familiar. Now, you basically, this impacts, it's got impact damage and applies a bleed that deals damage over time to the target's current health. So it also suppresses healing. So if I'm going to fly into the air and throw this down, see how it bounced around over there and doing damage. A lot of what you're doing with Vindicta is basically flying around in the air to get into positions where people don't expect you to come from. And then you're hitting them with damage. That's actually quite good damage, again, if you can aim. Now, this is where things get interesting because the ultimate turns your weapon into a hit scan sniper. It Again, you've got to land the shot. This can either be like a feast or famine ultimate. You're going to get a load of value from it, or you're just going to get no value from it. So you use your scoped rifle to fire a powerful shot over long distances. Deal only partial damage until fully charged after 1 second of being scoped. Does bonus damage to enemies with less than 50% health remaining. Landing a killing blow on a player with Assassinate grants you bonus souls. Now, we're going to go over here and we're going to pop it. But we're going to fly into the sky. And we're going to pop it. See, it's fully charged. And we're going to shoot these guys in their head. The damage on it is insane. You only get 2 shots. Did we even hit him? I think we hit him, right? But the damage is insane. But again, it's like a pro gamer move. If you're going to be able to land the shots, sure, go for it. Your ultimate will be really powerful. If you're not, yeah, it's not going to be powerful. And do remember, guys, I have no items here. With items, your bullet damage would be a lot higher, and these guys would be getting absolutely wrecked with me just shooting them anyway. But yeah, Vindicta, she is good. But I like playing against Vindicta if I'm playing Bebop, because you can just chase her down. Like, she can't do enough damage to you to kill you because you close range on her. If she's used a flight ability, she's got no escape, so you can just hook her in and destroy her. So she does have clear weaknesses. This is Viscous. Again, a new hero that's been added to the game. A very strange hero. Obviously, you can see this is a full-on placeholder model. Literally using Kelvin's weapon as well. So primary fire is like this gloop gun. You can zoom in with it as well. Yeah. So this is a very weird hero. So Splatter, you throw a ball of goo and it deals damage and leaves puddles of goo behind that apply a movement slow. But when this is fully upgraded, it actually bounces twice. So it could be quite funny. I've actually threw it at the guy. There we go. Bounced off the wall and back. So at least you got to see the bounce. Puts a lot of goo everywhere. It doesn't do anything to you, but these guys are slowed because they're in the goo. Yeah. Let's kill Kelvin. Goodbye. This ability, the cube, oh dear. It's not a Peter Molyneux game, by the way. But this thing, what an odd reference. That's because I've seen him at Gamescom and I was like, why is this guy back? What the hell? But anyway, you encase a target in a cube of restorative goo that purges, debuffs, and protects them from damage and increases health regen. The target is unable to take new actions, while cubed can be used on self. Press space to escape early. Well, this is like a recharge, right? So you can cast it on yourself. So if I've no, I don't do that. What do I want to do? I want to cancel, and I want to burn through my stamina. So my stamina bars are gone. Then I can be like, okay, put me in the cube. Cancel it. Oh, hang on. I thought it gave me back on cancel. Increase movement speed and stamina recovery. Oh, okay. Oh, no, the effect was on me after I used it, I think. But yeah, you can cube people to save them from damage, because you basically are invulnerable when you're in the cube. But also you can get cubed when you don't want to be cubed because your cuber thinks you should be cubed and you don't want it. So like I can be like, hello, Mr. Target Dummy. Would you like to go in the cube? So you can't cube enemies, by the way. But if you're like, I want to cube you, sir. Would you like to be cubed? There we go. Maybe you didn't want to be cubed and you maybe wanted to move. Yes. But again, I think it's more like Ivy, this hero, where it's good support in the lane. Again, I could be wrong. Who knows? It's early days. So Puddle Punch. Materialize a fist in the world that punches units in the area and sends them flying. Enemies will be dealt damage, have their dash distance reduced for a brief moment, and have their movement speed slowed. This is considered a light melee attack. So this comes out... The graphic on this is so funny. Watch this. Boom. Disrupt them over the way. Let's throw the goop at them as well. Yeah, it's just all about movement slows. We need to kill these guys to get them back to where they were. Movement slows, disruptive. Where did he even go? Oh, there he is. Die, Kelvin. It's heavy melee and death. Goodbye.
I should see what's at the
Viscous brings safety to our allies.
Yeah, Viscous does indeed bring safety.
Frustration to our enemies.
Endless frustration to the enemies as well, yeah. Anyway, goo ball, you just turn into a big ball and you roll around. It's a very strange ultimate, but you can cast abilities and use items while you're rolling, which is like whatever. So, yeah, you can bounce off walls as well, which is kind of funny. Let's do it. So you get a movement speed increase. You're like, oh, bang off the wall. You want to roll through people. It's actually really hard to control. I don't know what the devs are cooking with this. I really don't. It's dead strange. It's really strange. Oh dear.
your attention now.
Oh dear. Anyway, let's move on. Right, I'm just going to straight up say this. I'm terrible with Warden, but Warden is is so strong. It is crazy. Like, it also looks insane. He's like a Victorian era police officer. You know what I mean? He looks crazy. So his primary fire is it's kind of similar to Kelvin's, really, his primary fire. I mean, the weapon model is like insane. I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever. Also, ADS or alternate fire is just ADS. That's fine. So it's kind of like a tank that wants to close range on you, basically. Kind of similar in the vein to Abrams and heroes, I guess, like Kelvin as well, possibly. But let's take a look at the abilities. So, Alchemical Flask. You throw a flask that damages, slows, and reduces the weapon damage and stamina of enemies hit. But look at the top upgrade of this. Minus 7 seconds cooldown and implies a 35% fire rate slow. So you're reducing their stamina and you've got the fire rate slow as well. And it's really easy to land. Like, so hitting people with this, it's super frustrating, right? They ain't going to be happy. They are not going to be happy, right? Your second ability is Willpower, so you get a Spirit Shield and bonus movement speed. But again, look at the max upgrade of this. In fact, the first upgrade is really good. You get 20% movement speed bonus, so you're using this pretty much to get into a fight with protection against Spirit, which is basically abilities, right? Not the bullet damage. You're not going to get any added protection against that. However, the upgrade to it, the final upgrade, 200 Spirit Shield health, and now scales with Spirit Power. So the more Spirit you've got, the more Spirit you're going to get from this. So yeah, you move quicker with this. You can rush in and close distance. Obviously, you can still do damage, blah, blah, blah. Very clear visual on your character as well that you've got this active. So if you're fighting against him, you don't want to blast abilities into him when he's got this active. Binding Word. This is what really pisses me off with this hero when I play against him. So you curse an enemy hero. If they don't move away from their initial position within the escape time, they will be damaged and immobilized. Now, at the end of the game, fighting in the pit, this just gets you all the time. You literally can't get anywhere. You can't get out of the range. You'll just get hit by it. So just watch this. So he's cursed. Can you see the area? Again, this is the whole idea that you're a prison warden, right? You know, you're a warden. You're a copper. But if he doesn't get out of that area that we just seen, which is actually massive in the time frame, he will be put in prison and then you will destroy him. Look, he needs to get here. I mean, if you've got no stamina left and you've used the movement abilities, you're just not getting out of that. And Warden's going to be on top of you, and then you're going to jail. You're dead. Now, his ultimate ability. So this is Last Stand, and after charging for 2.2 seconds, release pulses that damage enemies and heals you. So again, this is used in conjunction with, like, think of the, you know, you want to close distance down. You're throwing this at them, right? Maybe you're going to try and get them with this. You're shooting them as well. You pop your ultimate for Last Stand. You're just doing massive... It's just crazy. It's actually insane. But again, I find him kind of weird to use just because... I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'm just not that great for heroes that get up close and personal. That don't click with me. But he is very strong. Don't get me wrong. He's very, very strong. He's very hard to kill, Warden is. So this is Wraith. Really good 1v1. Got good movement as well. And basically is Gambit from X-Men. You throw cards at people and they die. So your primary fire is great. It's a Tommy gun. Really like this. And the thing with this is, look at the fire rate of it. It's actually, it's crazy. With items, this weapon gets completely insane. Like, actually insane, this does. I love it. It's so good. This might actually be my favorite weapon in the game, you know.
They thought that was gonna be
anyway, let's take a look at the abilities. So, card trick. You can see I've got 2 cards above my head up here. These things are my cards, and I've got 2 of them because obviously, again, this is fully upgraded, but initially you'd only have 1 card. So you deal weapon damage to summon cards, activate to throw a card that flies towards an enemy or point under your crosshair. So if I'm going to throw them at these guys, boom, or you can throw them into the ground and they detonate like little bombs. Again, to get cards back, you do damage. Look how fast it's actually recharging my cards. So again, if you've got tons of fire rate items, you'll recharge really fast and you'll get loads of cards. So if you're doing damage like this, you're basically spamming cards into people. It is actually insane. You do so much damage with this hero. When you're damaging people, it is mental. It's actually mental. So Project Mine, this is your teleport. The second tier to this is pretty good, though, because it does give you a bullet shield, which does scale with Spirit Power. So you can be like, right, I'm going to get over there. I missed my card. Throw my card at this dude. Just do damage, throw my card. Yeah, I love it. I just love throwing cards. So, full auto. This, again, plays into your throwing cards because you're about to get a massive fire rate buff when you use this. You also get bullet lifesteal as well for the final ultimate upgrade for this. But this is insane. So I'm going to pop it. Look at my fire rate. It's crazy. I'm throwing cards. Throwing cards. I've got another card. These guys have died too fast. Yeah, it's crazy. So let's talk about the ultimate. because this will send you into a fit of rage when it hits you, because it is the most world-ending stun route in the game. It is so horrible when it hits you. So you lift an enemy hero into the air, it stuns them for a short time. When the lift ends, the target receives telekinesis damage. Yeah, and you'll see the final upgrade to this. Telekinesis will target enemies in an area around Wraith. So let's say poor Kelvin, we want to hit him with this. You just need to get close to him, literally yeet it at him. Well, it's going to hit both of these, actually, because it's fully upgraded. Yeah, you see they get pulled up into the air? Well, while they're in the air, what do you think's happening to them? All the damage in the world is being slammed into them. They're just going to get annihilated. Again, in 1v1, this hero is really, really strong. I think he's stronger than heroes like Haze, but Haze does have that stealth ability, which lets them get into different positions. But I do think this is, yeah, probably one of my favorite heroes as well. Really, really good. This is Yamato, the best hero in the game. Right? My favorites are Bebop, Yamato, McGinnis, and probably Wraith, right? Although maybe Wraith a bit more than McGinnis. Oh my god, they have cooked with this hero. So this, right, so your primary fire, you throw these, like, I guess, multiple shurikens at the target. Very good close range, not very good at long range. But you have an alternate fire, which is different, and you throw like a little smoke grenade style thing. Just use your ammo, pops up. Well, it's not a smoke grenade, it's like a little grenade that detonates. Now the good thing with this is you can hit people round the corner. So if they're hiding, you see the radius? If there was terrain blocking that Infuernus there, you can throw that and do a bit of damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it's still an option to do damage. Anyway, we need to talk about the abilities, because this is this hero, I actually love her. She's so good. So Power Slash, you basically channel a sword strike and you throw it across the map. You can trigger it early, but it doesn't deal full damage. Now, look at the upgrades to this. So the first one, you gain plus 60 bullet resist while channeling because you're vulnerable. And bullet damage is generally the most damage in early game as well. So it's really good that it's bullet resist. Apply 40% movement slow on level 2 and plus 200 damage on a full charge. So check this out. Well, I'll use this over here because I want to show it going through these guys. So if I was in the air like this, you pop this, you float in the air, it automatically activates when it reaches full channeling. But you can activate it early if you need to get out of that position. You know, maybe you're taking too much fire. But it's insane. Like, you can just be like, I'm jumping around, right, let's go. Let's activate that early. In we go. Do damage. You're probably wondering why I'm punching people and not whipping out my sword. Well, I'll show you in a minute why I'm not whipping out my sword. So the second ability is Flying Strike. You throw a grappling hook. Oh, hang on. You throw a grappling hook and you fly straight towards an enemy, damaging and slowing the target when you arrive. Okay, this is great. Watch this. Watch this. Can you see the range on this? I don't even have any items. Yeah. And you slash them when you get there. Really nice. Really, really nice. And of course, you would be using your primary fire, doing tons of damage as well as you got there. You'd also be using this Crimson Slash. So you slash all the enemies in front of you, you damage them, and you slow their fire rate, but you also heal off this. The second upgrade to this is crazy. Plus 10% of max health here healed on hero hit. It's just crazy. And you can see it's got a massive area of effect as well. So you're basically diving in. So think if I'm over here, I'm going to initiate on these guys. So maybe I'm up in the air, I'm like this. I'm going to go boom. This guy's trying to run away. He's not running away. I'm going to hit him with this, straight in with my slash. Primary fire into him. Yeah, holy hell. What a hero this is. Insane. Like an insane dive hero for chasing people down. Now, the ultimate makes you invulnerable when you first use it. And then it empowers all your abilities. And you get infinite ammo, which is insane. So you become invincible when you use this. Abilities are refreshed and you are 60% faster. Your weapon is infinite ammo and you gain damage resist and immunity to negative status effects. You are unable to die in this mode. This is insane, right? So you can imagine, I mean, what I've tended to do with this is as I've gone in, I've popped all my abilities and then I'm starting to take damage. Maybe it's not looking too great for me. Then I pop this, Shadow Transformation. You can't take damage during that. You can't die while this is active, but you can still take damage. Your fire rate is rapidly increased. Your abilities have got a massively quick cooldown. And your abilities are also refreshed as well. So if you spend all your abilities getting into the fight, then you pop the ultimate, it refreshes. It's insane. Like Yamato, she's actually insane. She's such a fun hero. But again, you do get caught out quite a lot. You know, I dive in and just get absolutely killed because I've dived in at the wrong time. Or I think I can kill somebody, then I can't, and they turn it back on me. Anyway, guys, that's been a look, a pretty long look, but a look at every single hero that's currently in the game. They are very diverse. They visually all look completely different. They've got completely different abilities, Completely different play styles. It's insane. Maybe the only exception, probably, I could say, is maybe Grey Talon and Vindicta have got kind of similar play styles. But beyond that, I don't know. I think this game is extremely different in the way it approaches stuff. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think is your favorite hero that you've seen in this video so far. And yeah, I'll catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.